Hey everybody. I wanted to apologize for not having a new video out yet, but instead I'm going to give you a teaser about what's coming because we're in transit. So I'm going to explain that and what's going on right now and all that kind of stuff. So hang with me, let's roll the intro and get this sucker started. Well, today is Sunday, and I don't have a video for today because I had one planned that I was going to do, and we are changing locations. We just left Eider and Thunder Canyon and John and Mercedes and a whole bunch of people that we've just really it's just fell in love with because the campground it's a lot different than what most people would expect. It's very different because it's community. And I'm going to explain that next week because the video coming up is going to be all about Thunder Canyon. And it's got 250 acres and waterfalls and streams and it's your basic it's a campground. It isn't a an RV resort like some of the others, but it has a whole different feel than most campgrounds that you've ever been at. So that's kind of what we're going to go over next week is I'm going to show you some footage of the place, some of the things we've done. Today I wanted to touch base with you guys and make sure I got a video out on Sunday. And I want to talk a little bit about Harvest Hosts. We've used Harvest Hosts a bunch. I'm currently in Harvest Host and it's in Macon, Georgia. It's a gigantic orchard and there's a store attached and a restaurant, and they have, I don't know, right now I think there's probably 6 or 8 of us Harvest Host people hanging out here in the parking lot. Somebody had a little one of those candle kind of things that you heat a warmer, and they had it out in the parking lot for a campfire, and had their chairs out, and there's everything here from a little tab kind of a unit to Class B's to our gigantic fifth wheel. So this is a pretty fun place. And if you have not used Harvest Hosts before, if you don't know what a Harvest Host is, let me explain. There's a website called Harvest Hosts and Boondockers Welcome. What it is it's places that you can stay for free. And you don't necessarily get hookups. You don't necessarily get anything except the experience. And it's people who want, um, they want to support RVers. They also want revenue. So a lot of places, like we've stayed at a lavender farm, fantastic, and we're going to talk about the lavender farm in more detail. But store and chickens and beautiful sites to put your rig in and hookups and everything. And then we stayed upstate New York at an apple orchard that had about every game imaginable, and on a Saturday they have food trucks and all kinds of stuff going on there, which was a lot of fun. And we've stayed at one called Bama Man, and he is the best. You park in his backyard, and he's just an RVer, and he wanted to help, and so he lets people. You just drive off the end of his driveway, turn around, pull your rig up. You can plug in, get and tip him like $10, and you got electricity, and you are parked in his backyard, and it's kind of fun. So everything from people's backyards. We've stayed at churches, we've stayed at wineries, breweries, museums. We stayed at a museum in Ohio. Fabulous. So there's a lot of really cool things that you can do. One of the ones I just found was, if all you guys remember Dukes of Hazzard, John Snyder, he started a Harvest Host. And there he's got the cars from the show. He's got cutouts with Daisy Duke and him and everybody, and you can get your picture taken with him. I don't know if he's there or shows up or not, But wow, what a cool place to stop. It's in Louisiana. So to me, I'm not sure. As a, honestly, for the last 20 years, I've stopped at Walmarts and Cracker Barrels and sometimes rest areas. And now that I've discovered Harvest Host, and for what it costs for you to join, it's under $100 for a year. Um, I don't know why anybody wouldn't do it, honestly, because it is so much more fun, so much more interesting than stopping in a Walmart parking lot and just running off from there. One of the first things I had to do is remember I'm not on vacation. So I'm not in a big hurry to get from place to place. For instance, going from Ider, Alabama, we stopped at Talona Ridge again, which was fun. We stopped to see my some family. We are stopping in Macon. We're stopping at the border of Florida and Georgia, and then we're gonna hit Bushnell, Florida, where we're gonna stay for about 2 weeks, and then move on to Sarasota. So we're chasing 75 still. But if we're gonna, make that trip, we could make it in a day or so. It's, I don't know, 10, 12 hours. But instead, what about the experience of seeing different places? We just, there's a Buc-ee's right down the street here. My first experience with Buc-ee's. I've never seen so many gas pumps, and it's a huge place. I want to go back and spend time, and I want beef jerky. I want the beaver nuggets, the whole bit. So we got to experience Buc-ee's. We got to stop, say hi to some family, spend a little bit of time with them, and then we made it here. And this place has a restaurant, and we're gonna have breakfast here in the morning before we take off, and we're gonna go shop in their store. We've shopped in some where they had meat, and all the meat was organic and fresh, so we stocked up on meat for our freezer. We stopped at one that was apples and all kinds of orchard kind of stuff, but they also had a lot of vegetables. So we stopped and stocked up on groceries. It's a really convenient place to do stuff without staying in a parking lot at a Walmart that may or may not be safe. These are safe. You've got other RVers here. Like I said, there's people currently, right as we speak, hanging out in the parking lot just having a good time. And we got here, we parked. I talked to some of them, met them, some people from Wisconsin. We're heading down to Florida. And it's just fun to get to know people and to do things where you wouldn't get to do that if you went to a Cracker Barrel or wherever. You'd go in the Cracker Barrel, have dinner, do a little shopping at the Cracker Barrel, which, I mean, it's kind of fun sometimes, but yeah, that gets old too, unless you want gigantic candy and some country style, gifts and stuff. But with this, you get something different all the time. The place we're staying tomorrow has goats, and we get to like hold baby goats, and they have a lot of products made out of goat milk, like soap and things. And so my thought is we're gonna buy some soap and stuff like that. When we stopped at the lavender farm, we got body soap for the shower. I've been using it ever since. What a wonderful product that is. We're gonna intentionally on the way back out of Florida, we're gonna stop there again just so we can shop. So the difference between a Harvest Host and just staying because you gotta stay is amazing. And if you're really a full timer, if you're really not in that big of a hurry, stop, stay, enjoy the area, learn what goes on here. Stop at the Buc-ee's down the road because Buc-ee's is like an event, and go to the store, meet the people, hang out with the RVers that are in the parking lot here, and just have a good time in general because it's a lot different than staying at a Walmart. I remember the first times we stayed at a Walmart, you're parked there, and all of a sudden in the morning, there's people everywhere, and you're taking a shower with people walking by and talking, and then they park you in if you don't have cones to take up a couple extra spaces in front of you so you can get out. With these harvest hosts, you can unhook, put your slides out. About 90% of them allow generators. There are some that have quiet times and stuff. There are some that don't have the space for bigger units like mine and only can have up to 25 feet and stuff like that. But they'll say that. And so you look for others. I tend to look, I love the farms. So I tend to pick farms and things and farmers markets because it's a lot of fun. The winery we stayed at, one of the most beautiful places we've stayed, great parking lot, a gazebo down by the lake. We sat there and watched the sunset. It was by Pittsburgh, so my son that lives in Pittsburgh, him and his girlfriend showed up, stayed overnight with us, played the parking lot all night long, met some other people that were there, played down by the water, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful location. So compare that to a Walmart parking lot or a Cracker Barrel or even a truck stop or whatever. Amazing. And they're not far off the beaten path. This, I think, was 3 or 4 miles off of I 75 heading to Florida. So why not stop, get a good night's sleep? We'll get up. Like I said, we'll eat in the restaurant. We'll do a little bit of shopping. We'll get going probably by about 11. We'll spend 2, 3 hours driving and get to our next stop early in the afternoon. And we're going to go and play with baby goats. So I'm going to video a lot of that. I'll have videos of some of our favorite harvest hosts. I'd like to do a top 10 list. I've been thinking about it, but I don't want you guys to overwhelm any of these places because I want to keep some of them secret for me. You know, Bama Man, he can only fit one guy in his backyard at a time. So you got to understand that some of these places they're so much fun, yet they don't fit a lot of things. As a matter of fact, one of the churches we stayed at, the pastor came out and talked to us, had a cup of coffee. We had a great time staying at a church, staying at a museum. You get to go in, meet the people at the museum, and go check out what's going on there. So it's just a different way of traveling. And I highly recommend the idea of a harvest host and Boondockers Welcome just because it's an experience instead of just a stop. So you guys think about that. And like I said, this is a primer for the next video, which will have a lot of footage because I got a ton of footage. I went for a ride in John's 4x4, and I did a 360 video on some of the Thunder Canyon. I got some of the deets behind the whole thing. All the buildings they have, the stuff that's being rebuilt, the sites, the stuff like that. I got some drone footage. It's just an amazing place. And like I said, we stayed there now over a month and love it and love the people and the events that they have there. So this is not a seclude yourself in your RV kind of life. This is life. So if you don't want to be bored, and if you want interaction with other people, if you want to do things, you got to look at campgrounds or environments that are people friendly. Some of the huddles where you meet people and then you find out where they're going and you meet up with them in different campgrounds and stuff. And on the way, stop at a couple of harvest hosts and meet the people there. I mean, Nashville, there was one where they do music videos at this farm. What a cool experience that was. And you got to see all kinds of cool things. So it's just one experience after another, and I'll be darned if I am not going to stop and see John Snyder. And man, I hope he's there. Dukes of Hazard, baby. So listen, will you do all the things? Do subscribe, like, and just I really appreciate you guys for doing all that. Make comments. Would you guys tell me some of your favorite? If you've been doing Harvest Hosts, tell me some of your favorites. And yes, I did get a haircut. My hair's not nearly as long as it was, and it's a lot more gray. So give me comments on my hair too if you want. I don't know what I can do about it, but hey, got a haircut. So I really appreciate all you guys, and every week we get more subscribers. This is a lot of fun. We're not here to make money. We're not here to make just to go out to do a YouTube channel. I'm here to experience life because all my health issues, all the things that the doctors said I couldn't do. Yes, I'm on crutches and in a mobility scooter, and I have a hard time getting around sometimes. But you know what? It's worth doing what I can do to be out, breathe the air. I work Monday through Friday. So when I get places, yes, I buckle down and work. And then in the evenings, we go out and have a good time and discover places. Like last night, we discovered it was called the Cajun Depot and Grill in Ellijay, Georgia. Wow. Some of the best food that I've had in a long time. So, I mean, you get to experience those kind of things, and it's just so much fun. And it's all about experiences and people. It's and it's funny because talking to my family about this giant house that they're in, and their kids are all gone now, and they're all moved out to Colorado, graduated from college, and all that. You know what? It's not about the things. It's not about the house. It's about the experiences and the people that you meet and the friends that you accumulate all during the way. So please remember that. Look up Harvest Hosts if you haven't. Drop me a comment about what you guys have done with Harvest Hosts or where you think things should be. Or, hey, if you want to be a Harvest Host, contact them and be a Harvest Host because it's a fun thing. You'll get to meet a lot of people, and you can set the schedule that you want to have people there. So with that, I'm done with the video for this week. Sorry about the short video and about no just me. But thanks, and please continue to watch and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Just remember, today is the first day of the rest of your life. This isn't a dress rehearsal. Let's do it and get it done. Meet people, enjoy events, not things. Have a great one. Good night.